there's so many areas we could go down with this evening's discussion. But why is the gut regarded as a second brain rather than the heart, say, which many would say is equally important?
Yeah, I'm not sure who coined that phrase originally, but it's a long organ. It's 26 feet long.
I guess we're more conscious of what it gets up to than the heart, aren't we, generally?
Yeah, there's a lot of monitoring that goes on in the gut. Of course, it's one of the only organs that's actually exposed to the outside environment. Mm-hmm. So it has to have a radar system, in a way, to inform the organism, and this isn't just humans, but it's all organisms, of the safety of what you're eating. And it's also the way we get our fuel in. I mean, food is really fuel, that's what it is. I mean, it can be very tasty, but essentially it's taking fuel. And therefore, it's important to know, when you fill your fuel tank, when it's empty. You need to know when you're running on reserve. And of course, there are the waste products that go through the exhaust pipe, which you have to know about as well. So if you've got a tube 26 feet long with 4 different organs, really, you've got the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, which is 20 feet long, and the large intestine, which is about 5.5 feet long. And each has got a different function. You need a lot of radar, if I could use that way of describing it. Yep.
So then, where does the interest in the vagus nerve specifically come into all 4 of those sections?
Okay, well, perhaps to start at the beginning, all of us learned about the cranial nerves. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that those who on the call with us today, one of the first things they did in anatomy was to learn about the 12 cranial nerves and the mnemonics that helped you remember it, most of which were rude. But one of the interesting things about the 12 cranial nerves is that there is one cranial nerve which is quite different. 11 cranial nerves feed the head and neck, essentially. So, there's the optic nerve, the lingual nerve, the auditory nerve, and so on and so forth. But there's this one nerve that comes out with the rest of them that actually travels to every organ in the chest and the abdomen. And in fact, long ago, when this nerve was actually dissected, it was called the vagus nerve because it's the vagabond nerve. It's the vagus nerve, is the vagabond nerve, and it touches on all the organs in the chest and the abdomen, and that's what makes it so different. And it's really not just a nerve that we think of as being motor or sensory. That's the way that we tend to think of nerves. It's a much more complex and interesting nerve, which is really where Stephen Porges came into my thinking at a particular time, which we'll perhaps get into at a later stage. But this particular nerve must be special because it is special. It's unlike any of the other nerves.